Hey there, tech enthusiast. Get ready for Tech Ties and Human Vibes, the podcast where technology in the AI era meets the human touch.
Our guest today is Josh Doretta. Josh, you are with Heymarket. Could you tell us a little bit about you, where you come from, what you do, and Heymarket, a little bit about them?
Yeah, definitely. More than happy to. So I currently reside right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We're headquartered outside of, we're actually in San Francisco, I should say. We're a bit of a remote team, so we're a little bit spread out throughout the U.S., a little bit in Canada as well. But Heymarket as a whole, we're a kind of a business messaging platform, if you will, even though we are called Heymarket. Lots of people think of us as a marketing platform, but we're just business messaging in general. We have a really strong emphasis on SMS, business texting, primarily or traditionally more of like a B2B sales type of platform. Kind of has been our bread and butter for the past just about 10 years now. I think 2016 will be the 10-year mark for the actual platform being live. And we did recently actually roll out an email aspect, which is why we're more leaning into the business messaging rather than as an SMS platform service. So that's really been one piece that we've really been building out. We have a lot of really cool features coming out on the email front here coming soon. But me, myself, I've been with the company now just a little bit over 3.5 years. So I've been in a handful of different roles with the team, but currently residing as our channel manager. So that's obviously how I kind of got connected with you guys here today, covering and really just building out our channel and partner program here at Heymarket. It's a little bit new for us, but we have had a little bit of a channel program for about 2-ish years, give or take now. So really just looking to build that out, get ourselves into the space. Things like podcasts we've learned are a really big part in this community, which is awesome. And so really looking forward to, chatting with you guys here today and just learn a little bit about things and, presenting out Heymarket here.
Love it. Okay, so I hope you're prepared for some hard questions. All right, because I've got some hard questions for you here. Very first one out the gate is, why Heymarket? Like, what is the name? Where does that come from? Obviously, it's messaging aspect of it, but like I said earlier,
I got to know the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure, but the lore that I've heard around it, so this is kind of a telephone call, if you will, type of situation, is that our founder is from the Chicago area, and there's the Heymarket district out there, and so it's kind of a play on words. So it's H-E-Y market, like hey, you're texting friends and family, hey, and so it's kind of just a play on words there. So that's kind of how I've been told is where the name came from, and so if that's kind of what I've taken as word there.
So I've never heard of the
that.
Chicago
Lore.
Heymarket area.
I've been out to Chicago once or twice, so I don't know too much about the area. Again, just kind of by telephone there, so I'm taking it by word.
Okay, all right.
We love cheese mayo around here. It's all good.
I could be hearing that story completely wrong. Who knows?
Maybe we'll have to have another episode to find out what the true story is. Like have a documentary, right?
I'll do some digging and find out for you guys. Maybe we can get some real details on that from the man himself.
Awesome.
Love it. Okay, but on a serious note, when it comes to messaging, why would a platform like Heymarket be something that B2B owners should go to or use instead of something like WhatsApp?
Mm-hmm. So the story that our founder really likes to tell, and it's probably something that a lot of small business owners could potentially resonate with. So Heymarket, to kind of preface this, Heymarket was originally built out as a self-service, kind of just like on the App Store type of platform. So it was on, the Google Play App Store and the Apple App Store. So it was built out for really small businesses just be able to sign up, have something that was disconnected from WhatsApp, from their own personal device texting. So the idea came from the owner, our founder. He had messaged, I think it was a couch delivery guy or something like that, from a small business in San Francisco when he was moving to deliver a couch to him. And a couple days later, or a week or two later, whatever it was, He got a random text from this guy at like 5 a.m. or something like that, a little bit tipsy, that was just like, hey, man, it was really great to see you, yada, yada, yada. And so he texted the next day. He's like, hey, I think you have the wrong number. And the guy was super apologetic and just like, I'm so sorry. I had a few drinks, texted the wrong number. And so it kind of came to the idea of him of like, why don't we have something that separates our personal life from our work life so you don't run into those potentially awkward situations? And so I know there's other platforms that do something similar, but back then, 10 plus years ago, there wasn't too many platforms that really distinguished between your own personal and your business life, particularly in texting. So that's really what spurred him to kind of start up the idea of being able to create something that's a little bit different there. Obviously, today we've grown and expanded, and we're definitely more of an enterprise tool. We service everything from small mom and pop shops to big name enterprise household name customers. So that is one of the things we do integrate with platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and then we also plug into CRMs like Salesforce and HubSpot, not WhatsApp. So the teams can kind of build out automations and workflows to really automate some of their business aspects there. So that's really the big piece of it, is to really distinguish the parts of their personal and their business life.
So, I need to understand a little bit more about Haymarket. Okay. I guess I was under the impression it was more of like sending mass text messages, but it's not. It's more like a standalone chat client. Or is it both?
It's a little bit of everything. And so, yeah, that's the one thing that we get a lot of folks that have some confusion with, because they come in and, again, we get lots of you're a marketing tool because of the Heymarket name. We get lots of that, which is totally understandable and fine. We do have a range of use cases. Whenever we get asked, what's your ICP? It's a really difficult question because we don't truly have one. We have standard industries that we tend to have, more customers in or more clients in. But the platform has a lot of different uses. It can really be kind of customized, if you will. There's standalone one-to-one messaging. There's group messaging, like, multiple members in a chat like you would have with friends or family. There is going to be bulk messaging. There's campaign messaging, kind of like email messaging campaigns that, most companies are probably pretty familiar with. There's automations based on keyword, time of day, things like that. So you can really use it for a lot of use cases. I think sales, incoming leads, marketing, obviously, current customer support, things like that are the typical use cases. But we also have a lot of customers that use it for onboarding, recruiting, employee communications, things like that. So it's a really well-rounded platform where it doesn't really target one individual team or section of the company.
No, that makes it like a great tool in that sense for the MSP channel, right? And where the MSPs aren't dealing with a specific industry, we cover all industries, right? So that's where a tool like this may be great in the channel. So what brought you to the channel?
Yeah, so really just wanted to expand our reach. So we have a really great partnership with a company called AirCall, which some companies may be familiar with. They're a little bit bigger of kind of like a voice service provider out in the space. So they obviously offer their own messaging solution. Their initial plans, from my understanding, this was built out a little bit before I was in this role, was they were looking to potentially build out more of a kind of features kind of similar to ours. It takes a lot of work to build out those features. So rather than build out those features themselves on top of their existing messaging platform, they said, hey, let's partner with a company that already does that and then build out some sort of a rev share program. So that's what we have today. It's an offering that they call advanced messaging, where they essentially resell the Heymarket services on top of their own. So customers have the option to use kind of their one-to-one messaging services if they want. If they want something that's a bit more, advanced, hence the name advanced messaging, they can tag on the Heymarket services alongside theirs. So that really kind of opened our eyes to the possibility of working with other partners, with MSP, with VARs, with companies that have a bit more of a reach and, have a client base that may have additional needs out there. And the one really nice thing about Heymarket is we're really, really big on the compliance side. Compliance with SMS, and particularly in the business world, is really high. It's a lot more strict than you would say with emails or calls. We're not able to do like cold messaging or anything like that. So there's a lot of things that go into that. So making sure that we were a HIPAA compliant platform, that we were SOC 2 compliant, obviously things like GDPR, even though we're not necessarily available for your use in Europe. and compliant with California standards and things like that are all things that we want to make sure that we are on top of. So we are again a really well-rounded platform. I know there's a lot of MSPs that do focus on the healthcare industry, so that is one thing that we really want to call out, just because we want to make sure that we're not blocking ourselves from working with those potential teams, or making sure that they're aware that there are platforms that can work with their customers.
Yeah, that's really interesting, especially because, like you said it, the medical field or the healthcare field within itself, that is one of the heaviest places where I've seen them use something like the text messaging or that level of communication with their patients and stuff like that. So when it comes to that, do you guys integrate with like EMR systems as well? And I guess I have two questions, so answer them in whichever order. Um, do you guys integrate with EMR systems, which then leads me to, do you all also integrate with any of the channel tool sets like PSAs and things like that for the MSPs?
So currently, not today, not directly at least. It's definitely something that we're open to. Our integrations have always been something that our teams really built upon in regards to that is something that we really kind of shine with. So when we do have an integration, it's not half baked. So with our integrations today, we have them all listed out on our site. I won't go through all of the list right now. But for ones that we don't have direct integrations with, we do have a Zapier connector, Zapier, I don't exactly know how it's pronounced. So that offers up a lot of different avenues, and that has a lot of options to, connect contacts, to offer up automated messaging as well as we offer an API for teams that, are interested in building out something that's a bit more custom, or if they have a homegrown system, a lot of teams connect it that way. So there are options for groups that have something that we don't have a direct integration with. And then when there are enough customers or teams that say, hey, we have an interest in X, Y, and Z integration, our team is always very open to suggestions. We have a board for our engineering team that we put in recommendations all the time with, whether it's upgrades to current integrations, the platform itself, or potentially new integrations as well that the team is always looking at.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
hopefully that answered both of those.
I've got a question, and it has nothing to do with Haymarket, and I apologize, but where do you come from, Josh? Like, how do you fit in here? Did you just apply for a job one day and boom, you ended up with it, or like what? What's your background?
Yeah, so kind of funny. So long story short, I was working at a couple of different smaller companies before starting here, and I wasn't a big fan of the startup world. So I was working at a couple of different smaller startups beforehand. I didn't apply here, actually. I was reached out to by one of the recruiters, Shane Foster, fantastic guy. If anyone's ever looking for someone, hit up Shane Foster. And he messaged me and was like, hey, there's a startup. We're a startup company. We're looking for salespeople. Saw your profile, really interested. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, man, I'm bad experience with startups. I'm just really not interested. Here's my reasonings, really appreciate it. Have a good day. And he came back and he was like, hey, that's not us. Which, of course, everyone's going to say that. Can you give me 10 minutes of your time and I'll explain to you why, like real talking points, not, some BS stuff where it's just, we're a great company, we're a family type thing. And so I met with him, decided it was worth a few minutes of my time. He gave me some points that I was actually able to confirm online around the founders, around, their previous history, and was able to prove that they had a track record. They had actually started a company prior to Heymarket that had been sold to Salesforce to kind of prove that they knew what they were doing. They weren't coming into this as just, random guys off the street with a really cool idea. And yeah, I was able to see the platform. We offer a free trial. So I was actually able to kind of create my own account for it to actually poke around the system. And then, yeah, we have a pretty strict kind of a interview process. And so that also made me feel good about things. I got to really know the team. It's a small team here. So interviewing, I want to say it was like 5 different people I interviewed with. So I really got to meet different members of the team and really got to make some connections prior to even joining. So that made me feel really good about joining on with the team here. So I had originally joined on as an account executive on the sales team, moved around a couple of different, I guess just once on the sales team to like a different kind of a sales role. And then about a year and a half ago or so, I want to say at this point, transitioned to this channel manager role.
Nice. So I have I'm the one with the tough questions, Adam.
Sorry. I like Adam's questions. Come on now.
So my question is, so you've been in the channel now for a couple of years, and seeing on the vendor side of things,
Mhm.
right? What are some things that you have learned while you're during your time in the channel so far, and how do you think that has impacted who you are, your career, and like, so I find the MSP channel to be my home,
Mhm.
right? And so that's, I guess, where I'm going in that story or in that question.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of actually add on a little bit to Adam's question as well. So the reason that I even initially kind of brought up the conversation, because I don't even remember exactly if we were looking at this as a potential role at the time. We had that partnership with Aircall that was not being managed by any single one person. It was kind of just being managed in general by the sales team. But it definitely needed a singular person to, fully kind of be a point of contact there, to be someone that team could go to when they had questions, had issues, to kind of manage that relationship. So I'll answer kind of more of Adam's and then also the rest of yours here. And I had worked actually two different companies before. My first job out of college, I worked for a Google renewals team. So it was kind of like a vendor for Google. And then from there, I actually worked with a partner for Google. So I was kind of in the channel space a little bit as, like an employee. So I kind of got to see a little bit of what those relationships looked like from an internal employee perspective, and kind of got to see how those really worked and how those got to blossom. And I really, really enjoyed my times there. Because you got to make a lot of great connections, got to meet a lot of people outside of just working at an individual company where you're really just stuck with your own team, which is nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic. But being able to branch out and meet a lot of different people from a lot of different companies was absolutely fantastic for my career when I was just starting out fresh out of college. So when that kind of thought process of, hey, someone really needs to manage this relationship and, potentially grow our opportunity here with, looking at other potential partnerships and channel relationships became kind of like maybe not a talking point, but an idea. That kind of was what sprung that idea in myself and my sales director's mind at the time, and kind of led into that conversation. So for me personally in my career, I would like to see myself staying in this type of a role. I really enjoy it, being able to go out, meet with people. Sales is fantastic. I really like it. But I think being able to have more of those personal relationships is what I really enjoy part of it. Jumping on a sales call, doing a demo, being able to relate with people was fantastic. But the one thing I really, really enjoy about our Aircall partnership, and I keep mentioning that because it's the one I work with on a daily basis, is that I'm doing it alongside of their team and their reps. So even though I'm meeting with new customers every day or new prospects, I'm doing it alongside of their team. So I'm still getting to work with other folks. I'm getting to build relationships with people outside of my own team. So that's really what I enjoy about this, and being able to, or the idea of being able to do that with other teams and build other connections and kind of help other people build out their platforms and their teams and, build their revenue is also something that really excites me.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
So you said something that you love sales, and a lot of people in the channel, in the MSP channel, MSP owners in particular, do not like sales. What's some advice that you could give them as someone that loves sales?
So I know a lot of people, when they think sales, they think like, money, making money. For me, I guess when I say sales, I shouldn't say sales in the sense of like, hey, give me commissions, give me money. That's not my version of sales. If that's what I liked about sales, I don't think I'd be in this channel role. Because it's not at least not in my current position, it's not like a high volume, high commission type thing. I think if I wanted that, I'd be at, a much larger company that has a huge channel position or something like that. For me, it's about helping people. And so what I really love is I love being able to get onto a call and chat with a company, particularly one that maybe has not used texting before, chat with them about what they dream of it, what they're like, hey, this is our perfect real world scenario, and kind of say, well, let's take a step back. This is the reality of it. Let's chat through what's actually possible, or like, here's how this can work. and really work through with them on what's feasible, what's possible, and then maybe build out workflows or build out ideas with them. So when I say sales, it's, I don't know, maybe more leaning towards like account management rather than sales. That's just what kind of the role lands into here at
Now,
Haymarket. But
you
yeah,
know
account
what?
management
Let me
maybe a bit.
stop you.
Yeah.
Let me stop you for a minute, because I actually think that, like, when you were talking prior to you describing what you like about sales, I actually thought of you more as, for lack of a better word, an evangelist, right? You are showing people a product that can help them and
Mhm.
help improve their flow. And you're just excited to show it to them because you know that it works,
Mhm.
and you know that it's going to work great for them. You're not there to say, "Hey, I want to sell this product to you." You're there to say, "Hey, I want to show you something that I love."
Mhm.
Like that is what I see in you, because I mean, you've got it written all over your face.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. And
Mhm.
one thing that a coach of mine says is sales is service, right? And so, like thinking about it in that way, that's when you really start to dig into what sales actually is. It's like it's not the dollar or the chase of the commission, as you say. It is, being of help and of service to others. And so that's something that you could tell when you were talking about building relationships, and that being a part of the partnership that you have. Like, it started to really come out, and it was like, that's really cool to
Mhm.
see. um, Especially of a product, right? Because a lot of the times, we have a ton of options when it comes to all these different products and things like that. But it really comes down to, can someone guide you through being able to know this is going to be of help to you. This is going to improve your day to day in some shape, matter, or form.
Mhm.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really like about just the general approach here at Haymarket, and something that we're really big on, is not selling something to a customer that doesn't work. So everyone here, and it's something that we're kind of taught when we first start, is don't sign up a customer that's not a good fit. So if someone comes in and they say, I need X, Y, and Z, and we have A, B, and C, we try and tell that to them as soon as possible. So that's one of the things that I actually really enjoyed about here when I start up, and that was one of the things actually during kind of that initial chat with the with Shane during the recruiting process, that I was like, I don't want to sell a product that I don't believe in. So that was something that was really nice, and something that the founders and our engineers and product team have just continually built on. They put out really, really good features and product updates and things that are useful. They don't just roll out things willy-nilly. They actually take customer feedback and ideas, and they're really big on kind of like an open beta process, which is nice. So they take a lot of customer feedback on aspects. So I think one of my favorite things that happens when I'm on a demo or chatting with a potential prospect is when they ask me something that I don't know the answer to. And it's kind of like, well, let's go poke around and find out and see if I can find an answer to it on the call. And if not, I'll get back to you. So it's always fun to kind of get those situations where I'm thrown off and I don't know the answer to something, because, you kind of learn along with them.
That is
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome.
Go ahead, Nancy.
So when it comes to working with MSPs, do you guys have a MSP program that you guys offer? If so, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we have kind of two options today, and it's like I mentioned earlier, it's something we're still kind of building out, just because we're trying to figure out exactly what fits best. I think we have a pretty good idea on what that looks like now. So we have both a kind of like a reseller option, where if folks want to have Haymarket on their paper, and then we also have more of like a referral basis. So the referral basis is the part that we're still, I think we're about 95% of the way there on how that's going to look. We've been taking a lot of feedback when we are talking with MSPs. We had an initial idea on what that would look like, had a few conversations, and folks were like, no, that's not how this works, which was fantastic feedback. Because I was like, please give me all the information you have, and I will take that as feedback, which was great. And so what that will more than likely look like is some sort of a percentage on a revenue share. And I think it'll fall in line with what is pretty standard in the space. And then for the more folks that want to do like a reseller situation, we would give them a discount on, the licensing, and then they're able to, mark that up at whatever they would like to add on their services. If they want to, provide additional, like hands-on white glove servicing, whatever that may be, we're not going to restrict that or say you can't do X, Y, and Z with the pricing. So we definitely want to be as flexible as we can with any of our partners. We definitely don't want to limit them in regards to their potential revenue. And that's something that we see it as, a mutual growth thing. So we want to make sure that we're providing more, the more that partnership grows as well. So if a partner is able to bring in a lot of business, we want to make sure that we're giving them even more back. So I imagine that I think initially right now it does look more like a tiered approach where the more that comes in, the higher percentage we're going to be able to give back, particularly on that, more for the referral aspect.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And definitely the MSP community is not shy when it comes to giving feedback.
Which I
Just
love
go
that
to Reddit.
because I love that because it's been super helpful for me. Not having folks that are just like, we'll see is not super helpful. So feedback has been fantastic. And I really appreciate that from everyone that I've had a chance to talk with.
So if I was an MSP and I'm interested in learning more, I guess, or even pulling the trigger and going all in, what would I need to do?
So anyone's welcome to reach out to myself on LinkedIn if you'd like. I'm just Joshua Doretta. Search me. I'm the only one with my name, so pretty easy to find. Pretty unique name out there, as far as I'm aware, at least. We also have my email is just joshua@heymarket.com. Is really simple. We also have a partner email address, which goes to a handful of members of our team, myself included, which is just partner@heymarket.com. More than welcome to reach out to either of those emails and just let us know, hey, you're interested, and I can go ahead and set up a meeting with myself. More than happy to answer any questions, show you the platform. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, we have a kind of like a trial of the system. Any of our partners, we can definitely get you set up with an account as well. So if you wanted to be able to demo the account or the system to your customers, you definitely have the option to do so. I'm also always happy to be the one that's doing that on your behalf with you. Make sure you're comfortable with it. We have a bunch of one-pagers, details, information to share out with folks, so you're not just kind of sitting there empty-handed. And then also, as I've kind of mentioned, we're very, very open to feedback. So if there's anything that, teams say, hey, we would love if we had this type of a resource or this type of piece, that is the information that I would love to have, just because we don't know what we don't know yet. So we have a pretty good idea, but there's always more to do, more to learn. And definitely that's what my role is here. So if there's anything that I can do or provide for teams, I'm connected with all the other members and groups at Heymarket here. So I'm running a little bit of everything on the channel side. So definitely if it's marketing, if it's, training, whatever it might be, that's definitely what I'm here for, is just to be a general resource for our partners.
So what does your trial period look like? Is that a 10-day, 15-day, 30-day? Is it full access? Is it limited?
Yeah, so our standard trials for just anyone that wants to go sign up, it's typically, or out of the box, I should say, it's going to be a 14-day trial. We provide you with a temporary line. So we don't want businesses to be what's called porting or bringing over their existing business lines, just because when the trial ends, we don't want there to be an issue of their number not being accessible to them. And then we give out a standard 10 free messages just to make sure that we don't potentially get someone that wants to sign up and start spamming out anyone. But for teams that we're actually working with and we're having, open communications with, we can always provide them some additional free messaging if needed. For features in the system, the integrations are all going to be open. About 90% of the features are available. There's a couple of them that are going to be limited, but we can definitely enable those on an as needed basis. Again, if we're having communications with teams, they're only limited just, again, so we don't have people potentially signing up and spamming out. But for any of the partners that want to get signed up, we would go ahead and enable that account so you actually have access to everything. It wouldn't just be like a standard trial account.
Very nice.
So,
yeah.
Well, before we hop off, because I know we're reaching time and Adam's going to say it, so I'm beating him to it. We had a previous guest, Brian Stoner of Judy Security, and he told us the history of his last name. So you said you have a unique last name. And so do you know the history of your last name?
A little bit, yeah. So I don't know the history of, I'll call it the original last name.
Okay.
So the original last name is Doretto with an O at the end. And when my great grandparents, when they came over from Italy, they came through Ellis Island. And so I actually got to see this on Ellis Island at I don't even know what it's called, the book everyone signs when they came over.
That's very cool.
The O had a little, looked like a tail at the end. And so it got marked down as Doretta. And so is what my grandma always told me, as far as I'm aware, if there's a Doretta here in the U.S., I'm related to them. And from what I've seen, it's been pretty accurate so far. So, yeah, as far as I'm aware, Doretta is a pretty unique last name. Could be wrong on that. It's an old Italian woman telling me those things, so you never know what's coming out of their mouth.
I love that.
Great.
That's awesome. That
Now
is very cool.
I'm going to start Googling all the Dorettas and be like, hey, do you know Josh? Hey, do you know Josh?
All I think of is like the Spider-Man meme, like
Right. That's great.
Oh, that's funny. Well, listen, like Nancy said, we've come to the end of our show. So we do appreciate your time. Nancy, if you have anything else, now would be the time to say it. Otherwise, forever hold your peace.
I hold my peace for now.
Josh, we
But not
do
forever.
appreciate you coming on, telling us a little bit about Heymarket and a little bit about yourself, and definitely the history of your name, because that was interesting. So.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate Nancy and Adam. It was great chatting with you both. And I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for joining us today on Tech Ties and Human Vibes. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, exclusive tips from our speakers, and more, head over to the community at sibylcommunity.com.